We talk football and current events, sitting and chatting with the very best guests, with two Scottish boys and we're loving it. So if you like witty banter, check the former #1 podcast on iTunes, Sitting and Chatting.
Hello, and welcome back to Sitting and Chatting podcast. I'm Whyte.
I'm Jamie Allan.
Hey there, mate.
Good day. All I've got to say is 4 more to go.
4 minutes.
4 more to go. 4 wins.
There might be speaking.
4 losses. Only 4 to go. That's what's happening. Aye, Dreamland. Although I did read an article last night for well, actually not an article, it's a lie, it's an interview for Van Dijk saying this season could be very special. Kind of laughed.
Did you actually see, did you actually see it? They were speaking to Michael and I forget which publication it was. Michael was obviously so really, I don't think in fairness he was trying to say it was like a bad season that Michael. It was like,
I don't think it's no special, it's successful.
No, it's special stuff.
Nah.
It's always special.
Of course it is, right, but I can't agree with you in the sense of if we won the Carabao and still been in the Champions League and we're on track to win the league, that's special.
Sure.
Where we're at right now is just glorious. 4 away from winning the league.
Yeah.
That is glorious. It's within touching distance.
Yes.
Carabao Cups for absolute perverts anyway. And
We definitely weren't big enough.
and the Champions League is for like Real Madrid. Do you know what I mean? So who wants to be the Galacticos? Shocking gimps.
I want to go with Gibbs.
Exactly.
It's no coincidence.
Exactly. Galactic and gimp. That's what you are if you're happy about it. That's pretty much been the moral of the story. It's been international break. Sorry for the football talk, but it's been international break. It's been fucking tremendously boring. But we're back, so we're alright.
Right. That's right. Well, you are playing unwell recently. That's why much about a week later you've been unwell.
I was I. Saturday just gone by. Came in to get my hair cut, and I just, that way, I just didn't feel 100%. That's it, the first going on here. Wasn't unwell, I wasn't unwell at that moment. I just said still, I was not feeling 100%.
You could feel that when it was catching up to you.
I'm just not feeling 100%. I didn't understand. She was like, interesting. And then, not even 12 hours later, I was floored. Absolutely floored. Went into work on the Monday and Tuesday. What a regret that was. So on the Wednesday, I took a rest day on the Wednesday.
Probation still then player.
Not even sure. I think so, technically. But to be fair, it wasn't even like that I was worried about. It was more just on the Monday and the Tuesday, there was a lack of staff. So I thought, I'll play my part.
Another smart people on the dying.
I played my part. So I went in, played my part, washed it in there. And then Wednesday, to be fair, battling through the Monday and the Tuesday made the rest worthwhile on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
Back in a Thursday, Friday, and still didn't feel 100%, to be fair. And even though I've still got that, tickly cough, so it was just a fucking horror flu. But I was fucking floored for good parts of the week. Horrible.
What's your better thing then?
No, that's the main thing, innit?
Yeah, that's actually the first time that we've seen each other since, I think, probably since when I should go or something.
No.
Yeah, it's been at least 2, maybe even 3 weeks now, but
Right.
it's one of those ones where, again, I think the current revealed Jamie's got a meeting after this, so we've really just literally started recording.
Aye.
It's one of those ones. I think it has actually the last thing that we talked about would have been when we were last year recording.
Aye. It wasn't until I found out this morning that the meeting was happening, and then obviously you messaged me saying we couldn't get anybody there. I was like, that's actually such a blessing in disguise. Because
I would have overran.
I would have been a cunt, so it was actually a blessing in disguise.
Yeah. Trust me, we do try and get people as guests on.
Liam does.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, Jamie's never once put an effort.
No.
Not even this podcast just anything.
No, just nothing in my life gets effort.
How's that TikTok anyone doing?
Great. Did very well. I've been unwell on that, so
We prefer you unwell.
I'll be honest, I didn't even know you sent me the login, so
It's photographic.
I'm not really sure.
I can't wait to see this week's TikTok.
It'll be great. It will be absolutely fucking great.
I think we just start to it. We could give it a wage of exposure.
Then she'll accept that.
So you can talk about it.
No, I couldn't.
You're a great salesman.
No, she's been with me for too long now. That no, I wouldn't say as much as that, but she knows when somebody's trying to sell something to her. So
it's help as well being the next salesperson.
This is what I mean. I talk to British, you know.
It's so bad. So
that's a trend of the year. I mean, I was literally I am the Gandhi.
The Gandhi of EE.
No, the Gandhi of her sales journey. So.
Gandhi was like a peace guy. He was like a seller. Oh my god,
he sold dreams. Have that. It was Indian Martin Luther King. Sold dreams. Sold dreams. And that's what I did for a lot of my career.
Yeah. It's only afterwards like us when she always want to shine your toy.
Dreams. Absolute dreams.
Some desires.
Exactly. But so she's wasted it, so I mean, nah. That's not happening. So I look forward to TikToks.
When I have to wait to things about it.
No, we'll get there. Don't worry.
I don't believe you.
We'll get there at some point.
So that's the lack of faith.
At some point or another, we'll get there.
You know that way of like, you know, how we've had these few spikes since Christmas and that, you know, the classic is strike while down, so
aye.
We've really not
to be honest with you, they're tuning in for me. And aye, look, Allan.
Yeah,
that's
faith and ambition.
That's the optimist in me.
Well, in terms of Swiss catch up stuff, I also went to Jersey. I went to the Glory Island. Don't seem convinced.
No, I mean, it's full of toffs, isn't it?
Yeah, but there's also a lot of, I don't know, in terms of actual people that are born in Jersey, I remember the last time seen the statistics. I think like 30% of folk from the island originate from Scotland. So there are quite a lot of Scottish folk.
How long did it take to get there?
It was an 10 on the plane.
Oh, on 10 on the plane.
Yeah, so maybe a bit less coming back as well. But yeah,
that's just mental to me, man. Right. It's like the same distance as France.
Well, I mean, yeah, like say if you look at a map, there's parts of France that are actually further north than it.
Aye. No, to be fair, France is a sneeze away, but it's just mental to me. So is Guernsey closer?
Guernsey is closer, so Guernsey is closer to the UK. You can actually, there's kind of a group of three of them. So you have Guernsey, you have Jersey, and you have Sark, which is like the smallest of the three. That back in the day used to be like for prisoners. So
right.
There's no like cars on it allowed either as well. It's weird. Apparently it has like roughly the same population as Jersey, they told me, but there's no cars allowed. It's all like fucking horse and carriage and shit.
No.
Sounds like, no, I'm being serious. Apparently that's what it's like. I'm 100% not the way.
Yeah. Listen, sort of Arthur Schneid.
I'm genuinely saying that. I'm going to
horse and carriage.
That was right. That's you can't choose bicycles as well.
Well, so now we're changing the tune. Right. So it's like your horse and carriage to fucking bicycle. So they have went into the 21st century. Horse and carriage.
Sark Island is a car-free island. Cars are banned. The primary mode of transport is bicycles, horse-drawn carriages, and some tractors with restrictions.
No.
There you go.
So they basically walk about, cycle about,
Yeah.
or a tractor.
Yeah, if you're a farmer, I guess.
Aye. Blows my mind, that, to be fair.
So, for those that haven't been around before, back in 2020, after I was made redundant, I went and lived for 4 months with my family in Jersey.
Great time.
As a well, originally I went over to go and work in the airport as a bartender, and that lasted all of a month before then the place shut down for COVID infections.
Amazing.
And then thankfully then afterwards I was then able to go and work for my aunt's brother's boyfriend. Sorry.
Sister's brother's fucking Jesus, man, like.
Well, it's uncle man, I can't remember the as I can't just say uncle because it doesn't make sense, so we're not uncles.
Right, okay.
Then I went one from his brother who was a big electrical company there. I don't actually know if I told the story on the podcast. In fact, I got hired on it for a job, but I don't know if
Not really sure.
so I went over there, got the job in the airport. So I got made redundant from that, and I was getting like, well, fuck, now I do have like, I've come out here with the aim of being here and up to Christmas, and now to have a job, like, what am I going to do? So I think basically Jim, Matt's boyfriend, said to his brother, basically, go give me my job in your office, because obviously I've got no trades and skills whatsoever. Don't get me wrong, I think I'd give it a good crack, but I definitely would have caused problems.
More problems and
Yeah,
more problems and solutions.
So the good thing, obviously, I did my degree in digital media as well at the time. I think all Jim sort of said to John, his brother, was that I worked with computers. So Saturday night, got a phone call from an unknown number, and I'm like, who the fuck's this? And Jim's like, oh, so it's probably my brother. And he's not pre-warned me of this phone call coming through, so hi John, and bear in mind the only time I met this guy is for 10 minutes at a dinner like about a month prior. And it's like, oh hi Liam, listen, sorry to hear about the job and all that, blah blah. Listen, I heard you're in a job now. Have you ever worked in an office before? No, I worked in an office before. He's like, alright, no worries. Jim saying, no, you're great with computers, you've got loads of experience with computers. I was like, no, I know my way around a computer, basics around a computer, but never like work for computers. He's like, oh, okay. Have you ever worked in the building shop for? No, I worked in the building shop for. It's like, alright. Have you ever done spreadsheets? I'm like, nah, I've never done anything.
You're the selling yourself.
Yeah, well, I'm just going to go. I'm not going to lie to the guy. It's not like a job interview where I'm definitely trying to get hold of it. I'm just being honest with the guy. It's like, oh yeah, I worked on the phone with clients and that before. Like, oh no, not done that. It's like, alright. What's the final one? It's like, have you ever organised calendars and appointments for people on building sites before? Like, no, I've never done that. It's like, alright, cool. Come in on Monday morning at 9 o'clock, then we'll give you your start. It's like, great. Answered no to every single one of his questions. I signed up with a job after it.
It's because on Monday morning you went in and you sucked a lot of cock.
No, let me tell you about it as well. I know this is off topic, I did a long time ago, but off topic as well. So Monday, they give me the address because obviously man and her partner are pregnant, can't take me. So I've got down the bus in my suit, well, a shirt bag. Going to the office, everyone's obviously working away hard, and everyone's kind of looking at me like, who the fuck's this?
It's just
the only people that walk into the office are the builders. They don't get customers just walking in, so they're all looking at me like, who the fuck's this? Eventually, after 10 minutes, someone comes over and speaks to me, and I'm like, oh, John just told me to come down and start today. Today was my first day. And she's kind of looking around a bit confused, and she goes and gets the office manager, say the same spiel again. No. We should have seen John. I was like, John McGranahan, yeah. He was like, no, we've not been told anything. So I'm thinking this time, fuck, what is happening here?
You've been stitched up a bit.
Yeah, and then at this point, the fucking his second in command or whatever takes me into his office, and he basically asked me exactly the same questions that John had asked me on the phone, which also I said no to everything as well.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh well, John doesn't often tell us stuff, so we'll just assume that you're starting today. Go and get started at my computer. I'm just literally pointing to like a computer in an office away from everyone. I was given logins. I was told to like get started. Wasn't given that assignment, just told to get logged on. Wasn't until 2 o'clock John walked out and went, alright Liam, you're getting settled in, and everyone in the office like, who is he? What the fuck is he doing here? It's just literally it was just like, oh yeah, he like went up to one of the folk at like payroll. It was just, oh yeah, Liam set up here. There's one here now. That's all it was.
How long were you there for?
I know about 3 months, just shy of, I think it was there for. But yeah, man, it was great. Up until the end, the last month was fucking so hard because of COVID restrictions. There was only 2 of us allowed to work in the office.
And so what did you end up actually then?
So my first, so when you go in, right, so like when you first looked at the place, there was offices was just like your standard like desks, like all lights and that, and then there was like an office with like all like the files like just lined up, like bookcases, like it was like kind of about the size of this room. There was an office, there was a table, like computer there, and then literally the entire rest of the office was like wall to ceiling with like, you know, like files and shit. So after like a week of me just kind of like walking around the office and just helping people to know the deal, eventually my first assignment was, turns out in the 5 years this company has existed, they hadn't digitised their files. So I shut you off. The next 4 weeks, all I done was go through the files on the wall, put it onto the photocopier, scan, put it onto the computer, put it into a file. That's all I done for 4 weeks. I done the entire fucking office.
Amazing.
Of 5 years worth of fucking like invoices, you know, like customer details, all this shit that somehow no one in this office had done that. And then, to be fair, I was actually like then I was kind of like, they put me in charge of like office management stuff, so I was like in charge of like supplies and shit. Whilst you're doing all this, well, you have to be on the phone. So like the guys would on the day, like on the morning, the guys would like come to you, and they would be like, "Oh, where am I going?" And you would have to basically like assign which like guys would go to which jobs, so which obviously ones they the most priority, which ones you did done first. You'd have to like assign them to that job for the day.
That's fucking project manager's job. So what are we talking here?
Yeah, I know.
That's really a fucking scary one.
Very scary one, I'll tell you. So, and then my final thing I was given is like a project. So Jersey don't do councils; they do parishes. So Ireland's split into 12 parishes, and John's company basically owns and does like the maintenance for like about, say, roughly like 50 to 100 buildings on the island. So I had to basically work out a route that a guy could go around basically and do like the collections on site. But I had to work out like the hours, I had to work out the route, and I literally mean like I had to like do a route which like, they could do over 4 days, and they would have enough time to go from place to point A to B and go to tip and all that shit. And I remember because at the end they're like, "Oh, we're getting an interview for the job, like, do you want to come sit in the interview?" So I'm like, "I should," like, because they're like, "She that's created that, so you can have your say in it." And I remember the first guy coming in, they had like previously used him as like a contractor for a builder, so he was like in his like late 50s or whatever. He was just like looking for like a sort of like 30-hour job for a week sort of thing. And he like got to the point of discussing about the money, and he was kind of like, I really can't do anything lower than £25 an hour here. And I like nearly fucking fell out of my seat. I'm like, mate, you're glorifying like rubbish law, like rubbish people, like, and do you know what's fucking more mental? They were all like, we really had it in our minds about 20, and they're like, this standoff had eventually could come down together in price, and they were like, yeah, it's going to be difficult to get someone for 20 on this job. And I was like, are you taking the piss? Like, I'll fucking move over to do that. So how did you know? You need your own van, they wouldn't supply the van for it.
Oh, to do the office job?
Yeah, to do like this like rubbish delivery job thing, like they needed to supply a van for it, they needed their own van, so that's why they were able to charge fucking however much money they wanted. Anyway, so if you've not heard the story, got to Christmas, I got incredibly homesick, and I thought, well, I'll come home and see all my friends and family. Came home, and Scotland got a second lockdown, so that was well timed.
Aye.
But then also, I was on minimum wage, which on Jersey.
Aye.
Don't get me wrong, I wasn't paying big money to my aunt and my partner. I was obviously paying for the flat still back in Scotland at the time, so that's where basically all my money was going to at that time. But they did make me an offer to stay. I didn't go as far as asking about wages because I was so set at that point I was coming home.
Could you know? No, you couldn't have worked from home, could you?
No. Well, I didn't know. I could have. It was because during COVID, some of them went and worked home. Probably would have been a bit of a pain. They really wanted folk to be in the office. They really didn't like the whole working from home shit. Well, that was our thing as well. So we had to go and get to basically tell everyone to work. Everyone had to get a COVID test at the time.
Yeah.
This was before they'd done like the boxes with the kits and them.
Yeah.
Guess I was the best person to get a COVID test out there.
Oh, 80 quid.
18. 300 quid a person.
What the fuck?
Mate, 300. It was so weird. So all of us had to like basically. So there's 40 folk in the company, so you can do the maths yourself and all that with the course. Everyone had their time slot. It was like 5-minute intervals. So like everyone from like the fucking construction workers to the office workers all had to walk down to this fucking like dockyard. So I think it was meant to be designed for like cars to just drive up into it so they can test it from there. But I didn't have my car that in because Kerr was using it when he had come back. So it was just me and like 4 other of the office workers just walking down this car lane. It's like a guy in a clipboard's like, yeah, cars are down here. This is like support. And then I just get like, you know, one of those like same COVID tests that we had at home and that 300 quid a person that cost.
Did you pay it or did the company pay it?
Company paid it. I wouldn't fucking pay it now. I don't fucking give it up at that. So anyway, as I've been rambling on enough there, so came back home since then, never had the chance to visit back. Found out in January that my aunt and Jim, her partner, are going to be retiring next year, and they're basically planning on moving to Italy. And they were going to rent out the house at that point. So I was like, oh shit. If I do it, and these are the sort of people that every time I see them, they're always like, when you're coming back over, so I was like, right, don't care, like, just come over and visit. So I was looking at my road, so I was like, fuck, the only time I can do it's the middle of March, which was like a month and a bit away at that time, and I was like, yes, fine, am I still coming over? They were like, yeah, we always tell you come over. It's like, cool. So went over. So first day was rugby orientated. So getting the Six Nations. So like, don't be like Six Nations because basically we're watching. I'm like, fine, I've got no hassle with that. So land at about 12. Oh man, I saw the maddest shit ever on the landing. So I'm landing, like literally as it's like bouncing on the floor, a boy just fucking unbuckled his seat, stood up and tried to like take his like bag out of the overhead cabinet. Like literally as it's like bouncing on the floor, the fucking like announcer came on for I've never heard anyone more angry.
That's my god.
Be like, sit down now. This guy like fucking panics and sits down. Like, see, before we're all like to like disembark, and that fucking like police comes and picks up this boy and like takes him out. Obviously, for like fucking like jumping out his seat trying to get a bag as we're in the middle of that fucking land. Funny. But what was quite funny was as I was leaving the airport, I actually seen him walking out with his, I could hear bags of fucking alcohol banging against each other on his leg and that. Like, yeah, makes sense. So, get there, they're like, so we land there, man's like, do you want to go for a walk? So obviously we've been on the plane. I'm like, cool. So go for a walk along the beach and that. Stop all over the wee place for a pint, and then I'm like, you know, rugby day. Go up to the house. Watching rugby there, drinking for that. We then decided to go down to the pub for the next match, go down there, have drinks there.
Yeah.
There's a lovely restaurant just next door to it. Went there, had dinner, had drinks with that. Come back for the final match of the night, have drinks with that. So all in all, we had gone from about 1 to about 10 a night, just drinking all day. I was fucking hammered. Then Sunday rolls around. It's going to be a football day. Cup finals. Well, no, the cup final for us, and also the Old Firm. So at least you're happy about one of them.
One result was good,
Just to pre-warn you, so for those that don't know, Jamie is a Rangers fan. Jim, that's my boyfriend, is a Celtic fan. So can you guess the last time, by the way, Rangers won at home? Won away at Celtic.
Could I guess it?
Yeah, roughly. Just guess.
Oh, it's been well a 10 year.
No, not quite.
7 year. 7 year.
It was the last time I was in Jersey.
Was it?
I shit you not, the last time I was in Jersey is when you won.
Was that about 7 years ago?
No, it was 4 years ago. Was
that the last time I won? 4 years? I thought it was well longer.
So you can imagine how happy Jim was with me.
And a wee deja vu.
Yeah, no, trust me, I was. And then go to the pub and obviously see fucking Liverpool.
I get it. That was your camera. That was your camera right there.
That was bad. It was bad. I've seen my worst 2 ever Liverpool victories I've seen as well, Jersey, so fuck Jersey.
Nah,
and then
it was.
The one thing I was slightly gutted about though is my aunt has a pal who has like one of these tiny like wee Cessna airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
And they had arranged for me before I came out. They were going like he was going to give me a fly around the island and he was going to let me control the fly the plane. That was sounded cool as fuck, but it was too windy so I couldn't do it.
Shite like, should have just fucking get out of the sky. We should have got turbulence. Fucking grow up.
It's literally a tin can as well, so it would have been like fucking mad. So then the Monday rolls around. So I was there from Saturday to Tuesday. The Monday rolls around. Man, and Jim need to go back to work. So man, the night before was just like, oh, you're 25 and I was like, aye. Turns out Jersey rules are if you have a valid driver's licence, doesn't need to be in the UK, it can be any valid driver's licence. If you're over the age of, if you're 25 and over, you're allowed to just drive anyone's cars. You don't need to be insured. So man was just like, okay, I'm just going to leave you the keys for my car, just go around the island, just enjoy yourself. I mean, the last time I was there, I was in my cousin's wee shifted 500 quid Fiesta, which has every panel scraped and dashed. So I wasn't too like, I was worried, but I wasn't panicking if something went wrong. So man, it's like quite nice, like mini countryman here, and I'm shitting myself at this.
Was it automatic?
No, it was manual, which to be fair, I preferred. But Jersey, for those who don't know, have possibly the narrowest roads in existence ever as well. They have one dual carriageway, which are allowed to go 40 miles an hour on.
Nice.
Every other road is 30 in the end. It's actually one thing that I respect about them compared to over here. You know, like over here, the minute everywhere's now 20.
No.
At least over there, they keep it 30. Everything's just a 30. So yeah, I drove around there and went back to my old workplace. It's now been demolished into like flats, very nice flats. Apparently they're worth like 10 million quid.
So where's the company?
It's literally about 500 yards down the road in another block of offices.
Of course.
Yeah, that was a smart move. Actually, wait a second before I could just remember something else funny. So I said Jim and his brother John live in there, and so on the Sunday morning before football, Jim's like, oh, do you want to come down and take the dogs with me for a walk? So I was like, aye. So we walked in, because the beach is basically a bit less than a 5-minute walk away from them, and you can walk all along the beach to basically the town centre, which is about an hour away. About like halfway down is Jim's brother, John, my old boss. He's basically got like a mansion. It's the place I told you about before that's got an underground wine cellar in the middle of them. So I'm going down there, and he's like, well, Jim says to me, oh, I don't need cheese. So I'm just presuming we'll go to Co-op on the way back. And actually, he's like, we'll just bring it to my brother's and get it. So I was like half laughing, being like, oh, he's just going to like go in and just basically like ask for cheese or whatever. No, get to the front door. So bear in mind, this is 9:30 on a Sunday. No, like there's every car in the driveway, there's no sign of life. Obviously, everyone's in the bed. Door's locked. He's like fucking meshing his niece, being like, what's the code to like get in? His niece no longer even lives there, by the way. He's like literally like trying to open like the fucking living room window and that, just to like try and break. I'm like, The thing that sees us doing that shit, they're going to call the police, and I was like, I'll be fine, don't worry about it. He's like, I've got a police badge on me, so sorry. And then, so eventually we're about to leave, and she meshes the code so we can get our code again. I thought we were just going to, like, go in and be very quiet and grab the cheese and fucking leave. Not a Jim Style walks in, looks straight up the stairs and goes, Ollie, come down here and make me a fucking cup of tea. Now, how would you react if I, on a Sunday morning at 9:30, broke into your gaff and demanded that you make a cup of tea?
Let's see, you know where the kettle is, you cock.
Not what I expected, to be fair. I thought you'd fucking shoot me.
Nah. You know where the kettle is? Wait.
Shocked me was when they both came through. Him and his wife came down happy as Larry. Oh, it's so nice to see you. Cheers for stopping by. And I'm like, if someone fucking did this to my house on a Sunday night when I was asleep, I'm fucking loved it and figuring.
Aye, that's funny though.
Yeah, so anyway, so Monday, glass weather, it's about like 20 degrees, bright blue skies. So I decided to do an island tour, went from like pier to pier, like beach to beach, a great place that I hadn't been when I was there the first time. Yeah, it was so nice, such good weather that time. You know,
Is the time difference still UK?
Still UK.
Still UK time they use.
Well, it's been quite relaxed instead of going in France, but
Aye,
it
that's
makes it easier.
aye, 100%.
And then, so, doing my wandering around. Final beach I get to, though, I've parked up my car, and there's one of those Ferrari, you know, the power sign, the griffin. So I parked, and I'm just like looking for something down the glove box, and that I look up and I see that girl, and I'm like, oh, nice, I haven't seen one of them before. It's like reversing next to me. I'm getting in my car, and this guy must have just had this because it's like the slowest, like there's no cars around, it's like the slowest reversing I've ever seen. I'm looking down to my left, and there's like a bollard sticking out the ground, and I'm like seeing him reverse, and I'm like, surely you can see that. And he's like getting closer and closer. I'm like, surely he notices that more. Surely the car's pinning him to tell me. I'm telling my head I'm going to have to fucking say something. Like, I'm panicking here because I'm going to have to like fucking tell this guy. He's like getting closer. Eventually I just like stop. I mean, the guy fucking shits himself. He like looks at me and he's rolling down his window and I can clearly see he's about to say, what the fuck are you doing touching my car? I was like, mate, yeah, like fucking run over that ball. You know, like, guy in the camera, he's like, oh, so sorry, thank you. You know, he saved me a big one there. And he had his wife and his like newborn baby in the car. So he gets out with them, and we're walking about the same way for about a mile towards like down the beach towards like a cafe. And we're just chatting on the way, and he's just, I presume he's trying to just be friendly, but he's, you know, like, oh, I'm from Scotland, you know, what are you doing over here? X, Y, Z. Eventually, his wife and his baby are like going into this cafe. And he turns to me and goes, oh, so what are you doing tomorrow? And I'm like, oh, going back home. And he's like, oh, what time's your flight is? So I was like, a day kind of thing. Like. He's like, oh, if you want, as a thank you for stopping my car from getting bashed, if you're free at 9 in the morning, I'm happy to let you have a drive for the car. And instantly I was like, wait, don't shoot it. I'm shitting and driving my Aunt's Mini. There's no way I'm driving on Jersey roads with a fucking Ferrari 4x4. And he was like, nah, that's fair, I can understand the nervousness.
I'd have been writing about that. 9 o'clock, I about that. Where's the keys?
Do you imagine what's that shit with the cost if I fucking fender bend and that shit?
Nah, back in a flight to Scotland. Doesn't know what you need.
I'll never find me. Until he goes to report it to the police and man, so like, oh.
Don't know him.
That's what I heard of before. And then yeah, came back, so it was my time back in Jersey.
Aye.
Good to be back. You know, so I thought I'd go again. But it was one of those ones where, like, I really think, especially on that last year, I was like, fuck, like, see when I retire, see if I have a bit of money, which I would, but see if I have a bit of money, it'd be such a nice place to go to.
Nice.
So it cost me, like 65 quid for the return flights. And
that's crazy.
Like, once a year, whatever, get, like, friends down, like, go to the beach and that, you know, I have barbecues and shit, it'd be so nice. And there isn't enough there that I'd want to be there full time. but like unless like I'm retired, but like
Nah, leaving, you're a busy man. Let's be real. There's no way. That's why you won't sit the first time. You're too busy. You need to be preoccupied. You need the diary, and the diary, you tell it what you're doing.
Yeah, unfortunately something that can't sit still for too long.
Nah, you can't.
But then that's the thing that I've been up to since we last recorded. What about yourself?
None. Like, none. I've done nothing. Seen nothing.
Done none, seen none.
None.
Vegetated alive.
Literally went to work, came home. Went to work, and then came home. And then on the next day, I went into work, and I came home. That's the moral of the story. I've got nothing to say until like a couple of weeks from now. I'm going to Peter Kay with my dad.
Oh, nice. Well, then, how do you
Aye. And then the next trip is not till June when I'm in Cyprus. So
nice. You're with your birthday.
no, well, technically I will be, but we're away from my mum's birthday technically. So
Your mum's birthday next 7 years old.
she's the 8th and I'm the 11th. So we're going to go to Cyprus for that. So that'll be class, but that's at least 70 odd days away. So
well, on to that then. On to the one. I've been doing a lot of games, so you explain it to the audience.
are you sure?
I feel free.
Yeah, of course you do. We're going to pick out 5 of said topics in the little folder that Liam holds. And it's going to be the 10 bars, whether it's quality or shite. The further to the left it is, the more shite it is, and the further to the right that it is, the more quality it is.
Easy, easy.
It's a very simple aspect.
I'll have to start filling this up again soon.
The first one is Scotland.
Alright. I'll let you start then myself, UK.
Scotland's a place within Britain.
Why do you sound like a 5-year-old that's been to a presentation in school?
It's a place within Britain.
No, right, okay. Let's take it aside. You've always said you never move out of Scotland, though. So that must mean something of how good you think it is.
No, I mean, it's just what you're used to, innit? I mean, I've been abroad and I just couldn't imagine living there, but I'd probably say that if I grew up in Italy,
Well, yeah, obviously, but I mean, it's like enough to be like, I will never.
It's a difficult one, though, innit? It's what you know. You like what you know. The partner's class.
Yep.
The partner is class.
Looking to have things like the NHS.
Anyway. No. Look, we're not going into politics here, right? The partner's class. There's a lot to do. Sorry, yeah. That's alright. Right. And on a serious note for a second, some of the most beautiful places on earth you'll see in Scotland.
Yep, that's.
No, I've seen them.
I was going to say, yeah, because your background around Scotland basically has consisted of Scotland, Glasgow.
No,
Maybe that's at Fife as well.
No, strictly true. Been to a lot of football stadiums. Although
most of them are in the central belt.
Well, Pretoria isn't for a start.
Yeah, the greatest stadium of all.
Full of fucking sheep riding bastards. Inverness Stadium.
Inverness?
Aye. Dingwall also.
Pure bastard.
Inverness used to be in the Premiership.
Back in the day.
Ross County up at Dingwall.
Ross County.
Good stadium. Full of wankers. And then I'll grant you Dumfries. Have you been to Dumfries? I've been to Dumfries.
And the Borders.
And the Borders, you see. No, but the places I'm talking about is like a way out where it's fucking, golden sand, blue water. I've always said I want to do the NE5 or the NC500, NE500.
NC North Coast.
NC500. I've wanted to do that. I mean, if I got an automatic car in some time, I'd be fucking golden. just never done one or the other. So there is places to visit in Scotland that are magic, and let's say the people are 9 times out of 10 are absolutely class. But overall, I mean, it's alright, isn't it?
Well, it's a down a wee bit. Being close to England lets it down a wee bit.
I must admit, with being a part of Britain, gives it a bit more points. I'd probably say, in amongst underneath the.
Are we sitting in the middle?
I mean, I'd probably be, next to the Nintendo rank is where that sits. Just about there,
I'm happy to agree.
I'd say Messi is, on par with us, but.
Oh no, I'd definitely say Messi's better than Scotland.
Aye.
But again, that's not the rules of the world.
It's not the rules at all. I feel like it's very biased. I see a Scotland flag at the top there, and now we're talking about Scotland again.
National pride,
Fucking.
Something that we would have had, so it's a bit difficult for us to judge. Cassette tapes. A sort of relic of the time gone by. I mean, let's look at the basics. I mean, considering at the time they would have been up against records, it would have been very convenient at the time.
Well, no. They always went forward with the tapes.
Aye, but at least you could carry one and listen to a Walkman and that.
Right, okay, yeah.
Whereas, back then, you'd have to sit in your grand's dining room and play something.
I feel like, for retro aspect, what's cooler? Records.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want. I mean, you've seen it yourself, got a record player, but I wouldn't have a cassette player.
No, for me, the records are cooler. They're nostalgic.
Yeah, but yeah, do something and hang them up and that.
Exactly. But practicality-wise, yes, I'll grant you. Back in the day, it would have been ideal. Yeah, it's like having an MP3 player in 2004. I think
that's kind of a bit for the benefits.
Correct. The tape used to go on them.
Satisfying sound as well, but winding back.
Aye.
That's two benefits.
Aye. I'd say it's
shite.
Just in shite, aye. Because
it's not terrible, guys. It's often just been pointless.
Pretty enough. Pretty pointless.
I mean, actually, the picture of Allan is a bit breaking.
Aye. Well, this is it. It's for the past. It stays in the past.
Indeed. Right. After you.
This one needs to be a belter here. It's not. Calpol, which, if you don't know, is
childhood snack.
It is a child's paracetamol, basically.
You know, it was apparently an adult's version. I've tried it, but
you probably have. Let's be real.
I don't think it was awful for me. 100%. You tell me you wouldn't try it.
No, I wouldn't take a swig yet. Look, Calpol was goated, to be fair. It was like a placebo effect.
Yeah, that's it. It's the number one thing. You
see, you had a sore boy, Calpol. See, you had a sore toe, Calpol. See, you had a fucking.
Do you know what? I was the fucking seeing the fucking bubbles and nuts. Always on our shoes. I was like, don't need Calpol, just fucking walk it off. The granddad's Calpol's always came to you. I don't respect it. Nurses, bastards, don't respect Calpol.
Nah, Calpol's it's quoted. It was if you had a bruised knee, Calpol worked.
Yeah. It's the number one way to make sure if your veins crying it will be fine.
Aye. Calpol noted definitely in quality. Pretty high quality, to be honest with you. It's fucking stunning. Aye, great work. Big up Calpol, done well. I'm a involved sponsor.
Yeah. So I fucking chug liters like that. It means I guess
I will take sponsors.
That's a big one here. Well, actually, St. Massive's one every year. The Champions League.
Aye. I said the other quite the Daddies tournament.
Really shite bags like that.
Aye. Galactic Gimps.
Do you know, genuinely, even piss taking aside, but I know folk will be like, oh, you're saying that because you're a Liverpool fan. I'm just so fed up with Real Madrid.
I mean, they're absolute cocks. Spanish dogs. Never liked
I think even if it last year for the final, for example, when it was Dortmund, Madrid, there wasn't, I don't think, a person in the world that actually thought Dortmund would get over the line against Madrid. I fucking hate that how set in stone is. I also hate that it's the same fixtures every year. I can't be arsed seeing Man City v Madrid. I can't be arsed seeing Barca v Bayern. I can't be arsed seeing these same fixtures.
No, it's Arsenal fucking against them.
Yeah,
again, when I've tried to change the structure of it, and it's again been poor.
In fairness, I will say I'm actually too minded the structure tunes.
No, I've not minded it, but
That's because
it's still ultimately gives you the same fixtures.
yeah, it just needs at least at the start. They're not the same, which I prefer that a little.
They're also slightly different though.
Yeah.
And then you watches it at the start. It's only 3 years at crunch time. Around the 32 people get interested.
And that's the Sharon team, obviously.
Aye, last 16 people are dead into it. You know what I mean? And then from there on, it's like everybody's glued to it.
Finals as well. I'm trying to say that. Don't get me wrong, it was a bit difficult because we were also in the pub for my birthday that year and it was fucking 48 degrees and there was a bit of fun there. But that was a shite final.
Mm-hmm.
What was the one beforehand?
One of you Tottenham was shite too.
Well, Jimmy and Liverpool, Tottenham.
Aye.
Yeah,
Right, that was
terrible. But
shite.
that was
I was fucking elated with it. It was all bit. It was a shite thing.
City was shy. PSG versus Bayern was shy.
Yeah.
Man City v Inter was pretty bad from memory. There's very few good finals.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least there have been recently very few good finals.
Yeah.
Who else have there been? There's just Madrid every year, wasn't it?
Aye, I know.
Madrid versus oh God, never made me fucking have to deal with that again. So yeah, it's obviously European Premier competition. Don't get me wrong, if we won it again, I'd be fucking elated.
I mean, don't get me wrong, right? Europa League, that supplies better games. I don't care what anybody says. The actual football is so much better to watch.
Do you mean Europa League or the Champions League?
Europa League over Champions League, I would take it every year. And not just for Rangers, like, even if Liverpool were in it, like it would feel like a step down for Liverpool.
Yeah. Controversially, that theme song as well, you know.
Oh, 100%. Oh, dynamite. See Ibrox listening to it as they walk out. Great. What a feeling. Proper goosebumps.
Yeah, Champions League should still do it as well, but I think Europa League there. So it's still saying good.
I mean, still in the Europa League, so I say it was good news.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, probably. No, definitely, sorry. It's just about the...
I always get on football. It's as well. A nice week, midweek game is always nice to watch.
But the Rangers get that on a Thursday. So, like, who cares?
We're going about there.
Aye, fine. But Europa League, by the way, is better. One of the Rangers.
Until it gets to the final, then also go on.
If Atletico Bilbao win it this year, then at least we would have been better world champions. Flowers.
Well, first off, I will start. Hay fevers on deck.
I'll agree with you on that. I'm just going to go with Flowers or Dicks. Right?
Particular reason.
Overrated. Absolute heaps of shite. They smell as
Sounds good though.
very occasionally. They smell. They go bad easy. You maintain them like a fucking pet, and then when you don't maintain them for enough, they go fucking soggy and fucking start floating out like they're dying because they are.
The one advantage I would give them though, very easy way to make a room, aren't they?
Greedy wee bastards, thirsty bastards. Here's what I'm going to say to you, right? Will the UK waste more money, right? Sorry, I'll rephrase that. Will the UK alone use more water to water plants in Africa's got? Let that sink in.
Is that true?
Let that sink in, Liam.
Is that true?
Down here.
I mean, I'm just curious about where you get your stats from.
Up here. Think about it. Think about it.
No, it's more than that.
You're absolutely right. Aye, sorry. Fuck yous. Thirsty, expensive heat. £24 for a fucking nookie of good floors these days.
Actually, I don't have to say there is.
Granted. And then you fucking guzzle water. Like it just fucking grows on trees. Fuck off.
Right, final one of the day.
I've got to be a bit on flowers because that was a lot of pish.
I can.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, fair enough. That's an outdoor activity.
I'd like to do it though.
Jerry, my older partner have actually gone to it.
Have I?
Yeah. I got them for their Christmas.
Don't tell Toadies.
For Christmas, I got them like this parachute thing, so if the wind blows, it was fucking rapid, wasn't it?
Fair enough, actually. Well, look, it's something I want to do. But, you know, maybe once. Maybe I don't know if I enjoyed it. Maybe twice. Who knows?
I think. Do you know what the trouble is, especially with doing it in Scotland? I'm getting there just to want to just jump in the water. Just go swim. Get hypothermia.
I'd get all falling into the water. So that
very difficult to get into as well. Like, faster again. So. The thing is, I'm keeping, because I've not done kayak, so if I can go off that, it's quite a lot of rafting, which I've done, which was fucking brilliant. I loved that. But it's obviously not the same thing. Kayaking's, like I said, like the sort of like more peaceful version of it, I suppose. Unless you're like an Olympian fucking like travelling down like a gorge or some shit for it.
For me, pretty shite. Like, until I try it, I can't be persuaded for quality.
That's fine. I mean, one thing I would say as well, it's not exactly like the easiest thing to get into as well. If you think about it, Scotland, for example, you've probably got maybe every 3 months a year and you're able to do it. Also, I would argue fuck you guys still in a kayak.
Granted, but I would argue it's not weather dependent.
No, apparently, like, because if you like fall, like, there's risks of if you fall in certain waters, you're just going to die fucking straight away if you do that.
I mean, if you're fucking, I suppose in that regard, but if it's just pushing down with rain.
Sorry, you're right in that regard. I was more mean just temperature wise.
Right, okay. There's going to be more than 3 months a year you can do it though.
Maybe I'm wrong, that's
March to October.
I mean, it's how cold it can fucking be in October time. That's how cold it is in the fucking Loch Lomond at that stage.
Aye, but I feel like it's called that fucking all year round though.
Yeah.
Well, ultimately, right.
I don't think it's that shit. I don't think it's like too far down. I'm like, I'm not forgiving that go. I think Justin shite.
Alright, okay. It's shite though.
Yeah. Right. That was quite a shite one. Okay, so. Well, as you can maybe tell by earlier, we originally thought we were going to have a guest on, so this has been a bit last minute coming together in terms of plan. But
lovely.
I did have a bit of time before you arrived, so I've done a little bit of research. Basically, I've compiled together real news headlines and also one fake news headline. I want you to try and deduct what would be
the juice.
Yeah, better word. So
I'm ready.
You're ready. So, first one.
Yeah.
Local man sues GPs after it emotionally manipulated him into taking the scenic route. Next one. Just titled Penis Potholes.
Amazing.
Woman's fear of ketchup leaves her in an ambulance. And referee taken to hospital after being bitten by a player during a blind child's soccer match. Now, I do have a lot of details with each one there, so we're going to like to get one on first.
The penis one.
Penis potholes.
That's the relation.
So, James Coxon, in England, was frustrated with an 8-foot long pothole that had been on the road for over a year now. To draw the attention to the council after they routinely ignored his messages, he went and spray painted a penis around the pothole. The next day, it was filled in by the council. As a result, James now claims every pothole in the area will be dealt with in a similar way if the council refuses to help. He's like a penis vigilante spray painter.
I like it. I can believe that.
What's the next one? What do you want to know?
The third one.
The local fear of ketchup. So, Leah Woodman, also from England, suffers from, in a moment here, Maltosophagophsia. Now,
honestly, I've had enough. That's real. I'm going to go away.
So, you know, you want to hear the
I'm ready. So, what's the headline for the first one again?
Local man sues GPs after emotion.
Yeah, bullshit. Not having
it. I mean, I've literally got the story here for all of them if you want.
I didn't believe that though. There's just something in my head that tells me that's a lot of pish.
Okay, well, let's just go through them. So, firstly, the ketchup one, so anyway, after mispronouncing that, basically she equates to seeing ketchup as being held at gunpoint in terms of it. That it hurts all that much. Even the sight of a ketchup bottle shows panic. And last month was required to be taken away in an ambulance after making eye contact with a bottle of ketchup in a restaurant. They are both pleading with the experts to help her be cured of this illness.
Fuck off.
The referee in Germany, a match was abruptly cancelled when the referee.
We're laughing too much for this.
The referee, Stefan Taylor, was unexpectedly bitten in the testicle by one of the children during the pre-game age. Keller, both in shock and in pain, decided not to proceed with the game after the father had to remove his son from Keller's crutch.
No.
Imagine the doctors I'll reach out and some compares in the fucking and the first one, just so you can hear the story. Andrew Henderson was visiting Newport with his partner who had injured his leg during a bike ride and was currently out of date on his phone. He tried phoning the local GPs in order to get it checked. However, the receptionist at the time gave him directions, which he later claimed was the deliberately taking on the scenic route to make sure that he didn't get to the GPs on time. Despite being repeatedly told that they would keep it open if it arrived on time, the minute that it hit by the bank, he was told that he was too late at the receptionist to come up with him. The GPs has refused to call him.
Andrew Henderson's just such a believable name now. Mr. Henderson. I never think that one's yours. I think the ketchup one's too well. It would be about the same time. There's no way ambulance just took somebody away for the fear of ketchup. There's no way.
I think it's actually.
Number one.
So you think
I'm still with it.
GPs
Aye.
fake story?
Aye.
I can confirm Jamie Allan.
I'm not.
You're correct.
Get up, yeah. Andrew Henderson.
Fake man.
You fake bastard. I was just sitting about it. The minute you said that, I just didn't sit right with me.
I did that myself.
Well done. The ketchup, crazy.
Yeah.
The fact that ambulances came out to something.
I'll be honest, the stories, the true ones, I had to get ChatGPT to find them for me, and I did verify them like Cushion first.
Fair. The ketchup one's crazy though.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good imagine just being sitting, Nando's and that, just, we're flying all the because you've seen a lot of ketchup.
Why would you say a bottle of ketchup Nando's? They didn't have ketchup, did they?
So, they've got that wee rack of sauces and that.
Does it have ketchup?
Of course, get ketchup on chips.
Supposedly. Not like a bit of peri peri or that, no?
I mean, you already have the peri peri on it normally to start with.
I don't know, like peri peri chips.
Oh, why do you mean the salt on them?
Aye, like the seasonings.
There is times when it's like too much, I feel like. Yeah, over classification.
Yeah. Very well. At least I was right though.
Yeah, no, you done well. Next week but that's what I call it next. I'm trying to get another one as well. See if I can fool you again. We can maybe keep a series going of how many you get right, how many you get.
That's fair. I'm 1-0. To the Liverpool. Oh shit, aye. Fuck the Everton, eh?
What the Everton did.
My way. Totally off topic. Nah, hatred on topic. How was Tarkovsky still in the park last night?
No. So I was on the phone with my dad outside TV meetings when I was there, and I'd seen the tackling off, so I was like, well, he's fucking gone.
Husty. And
then I seen VAR, and I was at that point I was chatting with that, so I wasn't like entirely paying attention. And then about 2 minutes later, I looked up at the TV and I seen Tarkovsky play like a diagonal yard pass, and I was like, I thought he was just set off. Honestly, I tried to rewind the TV to check that it was him that made the challenge.
What card job that? Should we fucking Yeah, it's criminal charges you shoot up for.
Many criminal charges, I know.
Mental.
That's it. I find it just that bad that even afterwards, even Duncan Ferguson of all people said it was a red card offence.
Aye.
That's the dirtiest bastard that's ever played for.
Aye. Dirty bastard, Big Dunk, and he literally said red card. Mental. Crazy.
He was the Rangers when he got jailed, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, mad.
Aye, helmet. There we go.
Was it some blue or something? Heartland.
Nah, I think it was in the Anchor pub in St Ninians, he battered fuck with some cunt.
That's when he got arrested.
Pretty sure it was,
Damn. They got like a photo on the wall.
he was in playing pool and then I think somebody came in and tried to take him off the pool table and he scalped him with a cue and started punching fucking me.
So when he got done in for like a house robbery as well.
I mean, it may have been that. I don't know. I think he got arrested at the Anchor, like, so he might have got jailed at that point, but a head case.
Yeah, indeed.
An absolute head case.
Just solid legend, but
Aye, fud. His dad's still got that old fucking stinking BMW that sits in the fucking Glasgow Road.
that's his dad's.
Aye. You never seen it?
Yeah, I don't think I've actually already said.
I can't mind the age, it's something Fergie.
Yeah. I know.
His dad lives in the Glasgow Road.
Jesus, you would have thought his son made enough money to move him out of there by now.
To be fair, it's a big bastard house they've got.
Still, that's what it would. Much better areas.
Aye, but, you know, once you're in a place, if you're happy, I suppose. Therefore just so you can walk out of the Anchor and all that.
Aye, that's what he's watching Sky Sports throughout the years. He's like, that's my son out there.
Aye, that's him, head case. But, that's what his stuff is. There you go.
Next to a stolen war for the two people that listen that'll be installed.
Aye. Exactly. But there you go.
Have you ever met any celebrities?
A few to be fair. Kyle Lafford came into the E shot when I was working one time.
Never seen playing that team.
Rangers.
Was it about?
I was at Rangers at the time, aye.
Yeah, a wee cheeky selfie.
No. It was with his fucking child girlfriend and
Your childhood girlfriend.
child girlfriend. She looked about 8. And the actual child as well. They only had one at the time as well.
She looks serious, her mum.
Aye. Met Barry Ferguson at a petrol station.
Oh yeah, I thought you did say it on the podcast last.
Can't even mind, to be fair. To be fair, it's mainly football players. I've met like a couple of old ex-pros coming into E and stuff.
Well, just a solemn one.
Aye. But nobody of great significance that you would know other than the football players.
Other than Rangers players from the Allan team.
Pretty much, aye. Aye. That absolute fucking gimp that used to play for Celtic up front. Killed Bellamy, met that cunt and all.
Well, Liverpool as well.
Aye.
What's the kick?
Just a helmet.
No, weird.
Oh, where? Also in the E show. So.
In Stirling?
Aye.
The fuck was he doing there for?
It was in with cousin and she was getting a phone and he was there. He was obviously visiting at the time.
Yeah, he scored one of my favourite goals. League Cup semi-final against Man City, 1-2, 2-1 at home. One of my favourite ever goals.
Mate, Colo Touré, that was an experience.
Oh,
aye. Well, he used to stay at Kings Park, didn't he? When he played for Celtic.
I thought he worked up at
Kings Park when Kings Park when he played for Celtic.
Yeah.
Drove past one time with Duncan and we seen him in the fucking garden playing with his kids, but football.
Which part of Kings Park?
You know, the Bickers's on the right. If you drive past Kings Park towards the town,
aye,
from Camas area,
aye,
he still got one of the Bickers's.
Oh, like the ones that look onto the park.
Aye. Went up seen him. He was class.
What did you just go up and chat?
Aye.
Surprised Duncan gets hold of his pride in that one to speak to himself.
No, Duncan was in his car and he fucked off. And I was like, fuck that, I'm pulling in here. Pulled right into my car and I was like, Colo. He was like, hello my friend. As he was playing football. No. He was like, I just spoke to him for like literally 2 minutes. I says, I'll leave you to it and we're playing with your kids and I just jumped back in the car and left.
So
He was sound though, actual sound.
seen a lot of football. That's weird.
Aye.
I've literally.
There's another Celtic player as well. Who used to play up front for them.
The only two I've ever met are Dave Goodroy, which obviously isn't great now.
Paedophile.
Allegedly,
Sorry.
and also Kenny Miller. Very briefly.
That could make Kenny Miller. I'm going to the airport. Got the same flight back to America with him.
That's a weird fucking coincidence.
Is it Anthony Stokes who used to play for Celtic?
Aye, the Irish one.
So,
I'm from the airport, I think.
Aye. Him. Met him to briefly. Petrol station. Briefly. Never spoke to him though. But no, I did speak to him. It was like that way you all looked at him and he knew who he was.
Aye.
And I was like, alright. And then I kind of just walked away because
Smiled the floor.
Aye, because I was like a peep cunt and I went past him. Also seen the McGeady one time. I really wanted to. Aye,
so then felt and everything.
Aye, I was in the area of Parkhead at the time, and I seen him, and he was coming out of training. Oh, the urge I had to just run him there. I never know, but I would like to.
There's been a few players in the world you hate more than him.
No, there's very few.
Obviously, James McLean must have been.
James McLean's up there. He's probably the worst, to be honest with you. Him and Maid McGeady, if the two of them were in a room with Bin Laden and I had him one bullet, I'd shoot myself. But honestly, I fucking hate the two of them.
Do you know what? This reminds me. There was a Scotland match I went out to went to Parkhead with my dad to Scotland Island, and McGeady was still playing. After I
For Ireland at the time.
Yeah, obviously, so that fucking traitorous wee bastard. I've genuinely this. I've been to Old Firm, I've been to quite a few hostile football grounds. I have been to where before ever that's given up their abuse.
And he deserves it.
Because I thought he might have got a bit off it back at Parkhead, but he was fucking.
Did you see the interview when he was talking to some, I can't remember who it was, and he was like, I can't even walk to the shots without getting abuse. And nothing made me smell nails in that moment. I was so happy. I was like, that's fucking great. I am so happy that the guy can't go to Asda and get a carton of milk without getting abuse. That makes me so happy. Honestly, it does. James McLean as well. I hope that guy. I hope every time he goes in the house, takes his shoes off and was comfy. I hope he stubs his toe. I just hope he just gets a horrible, horrible day every day. I maybe want to cut that out right enough,
No, it's fine. That's not quite close enough.
Well, that's alright then, rat. Aye, but there's a few of us, but we should maybe get away from it because I could go into a tangent about cunts that I hate. I don't think I've ever met a non-football celebrity though.
No.
Not that I can think of at the top of my mind. I feel like I should or would remember that.
I told the story the other night when I went up to Glencoe for Top Gear. So, shows how much of a fucking super fan I was at one point. Yeah, so from those 100, so I used to love Top Gear growing up. So it was like the best programme ever. Just loved the studio on it as well. And it was. I think it was their second last season. I didn't know at the time it was going to be their second last season, but it was just before Clarkson punched that producer.
Goated.
Yeah, so I think that actually happened in Scotland as well. But so having Jeremy, James, and Richard were up filming something in Glencoe area, and then James and Richard have got it was reported in the press and Tom Gear are staying in this area sort of thing. And that shows very how nice my mum was and how committed my mum was to try to give me nice things as a kid. I literally, despite not knowing everywhere, all it was in newspaper extra saying they were in this area. I said to Mum, can we drive to this area and see if we can see them filming? Never mind. this is like before that you'd go on Twitter and see like, oh, Top Gear spotted filming in this area or like Facebook or whatever.
Aye.
I just had a local news.
Glencoe's quite a distance.
Glencoe from here is what, an hour and a half, 2 hours?
Easy. Aye.
And my poor mum, for some fucking reason, agreed to drive me up there on the off chance that we might see them filming at some point. Drove into a local town. Some locals like were fucking journalists. Oh, have you seen Top Gear just filming all around here? And I feel like, yeah, they've passed through here, stuff, and they literally down there. Yeah, they've gone that way. Mum just drives me in the car up that way. And it's getting to the point now where I think, like, she was like, look, we've been going on for a wee while now. I'll give another 10, 15 minutes down this road, and if we don't see anything else, we're going to have to call it there. So, fair enough. Yeah, get my hopes a wee bit right now. And then literally, it was the weird thing. It was like a scene from like fucking whatever movie. Like through the fog, I just see a group of Range Rovers, like and like is it F Jag, like the two-seater sports car. And I see, I'm like, that's Top Gear, like, and that's my car. And I'm like, that's them. And I was like fucking giddy, like, oh my god, I cannot believe we just spotted them. So I'm over this car park. The only folk in the car park at the moment is the film crew and us. Yeah. So we just kind of walk over and like one of like they're very nice actually. Like one of the like sound directors comes up and goes, "Oh, you're fine." Like, yeah. And I could see Jeremy Clarkson in his Range Rover like reading over like scripts and that. And see, we might do this. At this point, definitely, I'll let you be the judge of it. So, at this point as well, so Nolan, we've been there maybe like 2-3 minutes. At this point, there was like a group of Hall walkers that had come down, and they also must have seen it, but like the first going on, like, oh my god, it's Jeremy Clarkson. So, it was like a group of adults, and then there was me and one other boy, roughly about the same age. I forget what age it would have been at the time, early teens, I'm guessing. Mm-hmm. So, the guy, in fairness, the guy says to us, look, just a heads up, we are in the middle of filming. Jeremy's like in the middle of reading script. We only have a certain amount of time here. He won't be able to like come out and speak to us, just so you are aware. He did like when he was coming out of the car to go into the car to like do the drive, he did like wave over at us sort of thing. And I was genuinely at that moment I was totally happy. I wasn't like gutted or anything like that. And then I got to like see them set up for the shot and I got to see them like do the first drive off bit, and that bit's still on the TV show. If you look back, that like constantly, like, fucking, I was there to see that sort of thing. But my mum was fucking raging that it never came over and spoke to us. I know I can kind of see it maybe from her point because obviously she's drove on the way. I was just totally like happy just to see something get filmed, and I think she was happy that I was. I'd probably been in the same boat she had been because I could hear the other parents else getting like. Gosh, but like they're like in fairness, like do you know what, the crew were very nice. It's like shut up, I'm not to come over. That's why I'm just gonna see Tom. Nah,
I got to be similar as you, but
anyway, that's our famous encounters.
Yes.
Anything else you want to
know? No, really, to be fair, it's one of those ones
we've kind of gone over everything. Apologies to the audience, we also had different things we planned first time, but hey, you never know, one day we'll persuade a guest to come on here.
Exactly. You know, I mean, like, who was the last guest with them?
Fuck me, though, Ben. It was Bradley.
Correct. And, what was the last terrible episode we done?
I mean, I'm guessing that's what will be the next one. But
I guarantee you, this year gets more views than that does. Make it happen, by the way. So I'm saying.
I couldn't believe it.
No, he sent me a funny video the day as well, to be fair. Obviously, he's travelling Southeast Asia. And the video, expertly timed, I must admit, right? So he pulls his phone out. They're on they're on a hotel that's really high up, and it overlooks perfectly onto a football stadium, right? And there was football happening. Yeah. He was at right. So he pulls out his phone. He's at it's a corner here, right? He's like commentating it. He's at a corner here. The ball comes in, keeper comes out, totally fucks it, punched into it. And then Bradley's like, no, you've got to deal with that, you've got to catch it. Ball comes out, striker, boom, back in the net. unbelievable timing that he's pulled out his phone
Just all right.
just as a goal's happened. So I'll show you that after we've done the podcast. Great stuff, and his commentary is pretty good. But it's a guess, just for the fans' point of view, they must think that.
Either way, I'm going to say that I shouldn't do this because it's a fucking good life for him. But we'll have a gay statement on up the road.
That's crazy statement.
Get that success rate.
Hopefully, you're right.
That's all. Anyway, I've been Lee, mate.
I've been Jim now.
Thank you for coming. We'll see you next time. Bye.
We talk football and current events, sitting and chatting with the very best guests. We're two Scottish boys and we're loving it. So if you like witty banter, check the former #1 podcast on iTunes. Sitting and chatting.